As a matter of fact, there was. But a question I use in my class is why did we go to war with Mexico? During the ratification of the Constitution, one of the largest issues was slavery. In fact, this is an ongoing issue that just keeps getting kicked down the road. Now, by the time of the 1845 election, the biggest issue again is slavery versus anti-slavery. And this guy behind me with the mullet, James K. Polk, he comes in and he decides, hey, you know what? I'm not going to talk about it at all. And surprise, he becomes the next president of the United States in 1845. He comes in with the idea of expanding, or what we call manifest destiny, which wasn't his idea. He's just going to continue it. Now, his first big move, he thought we were going to go to war with England over the Oregon and Washington territory, which we end up buying and no big issue happens. However, he's not done, and he's got a plot going. In the same year he becomes president, Texas becomes a state. Let's hold on to that for a second. President Polk is going to call for one Colonel Fremont to come see him and discuss the idea of mapping out California. So Fremont shows up. Polk says, hey, take 50 men, howitzer, go map out California. And here's a letter. Don't open it until you enter California. Don't open it until you enter California. Next, he's going to call in Commodore Sloat, who's going to be in charge of several ships, and he's going to order this guy to go all the way around South America and work his way up Mexico to California. This is going to take a while, so he dispatches him now. The other guy, General Kearny, he's going to order all the way at Fort Laramie, and he's going to tell him and his army to get ready to move into the Mexican territory, work his way from Santa Fe all the way over to LA. You might ask, are we at war with Mexico? No, we're not. Now, as Texas is newly acquired, there's issues going on. One issue is, where is the border? Is it the Rio Grande, or is it the Nueces River way up there? Now, the United States is claiming the Rio Grande. Mexico and Texas also claims the Nueces River. So Polk will send one of his generals, one Zachary Taylor, old rough and ready, and his army down to the border to ensure the sovereignty of our nation. With him at the time is a young lieutenant by the name of Ulysses S. Grant. So Taylor sends his men across the Nueces River into technically Mexican soil. Engagement, several Americans are killed, as well as some Mexicans, and that's the problem. Polk will later address Congress and say, American blood is spilled on American soil, as a battle cry. Now, Congress is furious. In fact, they want blood. But randomly enough, Abraham Lincoln was in Congress at the time, and he didn't want it. He thought it was all made up and BS, and he kind of was right. So the United States declares war on Mexico. Now, all those other agents were already deployed before the war even started. John C. Fremont, Commodore Sloat, who will later be replaced by Commodore Stockton, General Kearny, they're already moving into Mexican territory. So it makes you wonder what the cause of the war was. And the reality is territory. Adding to this whole thing, the Americans actually sent Commodore Sloat down about a year before this to try to buy the territory of California, Arizona, and New Mexico for $15 million. Mexico was like, no, we're not going to sell half our country to you. So America's like, all right, very well. Now, as Taylor is fighting forces over here and pushing down, Mexican forces are moving up to engage with Taylor. This is where a second front opens up as General Scott will land at Veracruz, which is directly above my head. Since most Mexican forces were in the north, this is not a good thing for Mexico. Now, one of Scott's lead navigators is actually Ulysses S. Grant. Now, the Mexicans don't do well against the Americans. The Americans have better firepower, better tactics, and Mexico falls apart pretty quick. Finally, U.S. forces make it all the way to Mexico City, and the last stand is a place called Chapultepec Square. Chapultepec was actually an academy for officers of Mexico. Their cadets held a last stand on top of the hill. Battle of Chapultepec is super famous for Marines who engage and take the ground. In fact, the Marine Corps hymn, "From the Halls of Montezuma," referring to this battle. Now, the Mexican cadets were shooting officers and NCOs, non-commissioned officers, meaning corporals, sergeants, and everything above. Because of this, Marines in their dress blues wear that blood stripe on the very bottom, remembering the history of this battle. So Mexico falls, and to be honest, the U.S. does not want all of Mexico, just a territory that's sparsely populated. Why? There is some racist ideology here for it, but what we get is a treaty of Guadalupe Hidalgo, who gets signed, handing the territory of California, parts of Arizona, and New Mexico to the United States. Less than a week later, after this treaty is signed, one James Marshall, working for Sutter at Sutter's Mill in the American River, finds gold. which starts the California Gold Rush. So I'm curious, what are your thoughts on this war? Leave me in the comments.
All right, Shalom. We are the Hebrew Israelites from the Indianapolis branch of the Great Millstone. Once again, we're going to give all praises, glory, and honor to
Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rakakwadash.
Double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well in teaching us this 100% truth. Salutations to them and our fellow Akim delivering this truth week in and week out on the highways and byways. Also, salutations to the hopeful elect of the scattered 12 tribes of Israel, scattered to the four corners of the earth that be like unto the speckled bird, also known as your Israelite foreigners and your so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. To you, we say Shalom.
Shalom.
All right, once again, we have another installment of our camp's objective and series. It's called For Thy Violence Against Thy Brother Jacob, going into a multitude of atrocities, heinous crimes that Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, has committed against the 12 tribes of Israel. We'll start off with the first scripture, the book of Obadiah, chapter 1, verse 10, and it reads, For thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee, and thou shalt be cut off forever. So what that's going into is we're going to give accounts of everything that this this evil nation of people has done to the children of Israel. Okay, and they think they're going to get away with it, but no, their shame is starting to cover them, and we see that right now. Everything that they have been doing is being exposed. All right, 24/7, 365 around the clock, being exposed, and they're going to be cut off forever, according to the 18th verse of this same chapter. Once they have served their slavery, and been in captivity for twice as long and twice as hard as Jacob had to endure, the nation of Israel is going to come together and pretty much get rid of them, according to the scriptures. All right. So we're gonna, we did show you a clip at the beginning that preceded our opening. So we're going to go into a summary of the details about this, and put some scriptures to it. And we'll put in the comment section links to that video and the articles concerning the Mexican-American War. That's what we're going to cover today, the Mexican-American War, and Mexican is the byword for the tribe of Issachar. Okay, so with that, let's go ahead and get into the article.
All right. This is the Mexican-American War. It says the Mexican War, also known as the Mexican-American War, took place from 1846 to 1848 between the U.S. and Mexico. The conflict arose from a border dispute following the U.S. How do you say that? Annexation, the water, of Texas in 1845. Mexico claimed the southern border of Texas was the newest, how you say that, river, while the U.S. argued it was the Rio Grande. It says a secret mission led by John Slidell to negotiate the dispute and buy New Mexico and California for up to $30 million was abandoned when Mexico refused to engage with them.
It says, in response, President James Polk sent troops under Zachary Taylor to occupy the disputed land between the two rivers. In April 1846, Mexican troops crossed the Rio Grande and attacked Taylor's troops, leading Congress to approve a declaration of war in May. Taylor was ordered to invade Mexico, and he successfully captured Monterrey and defeated a large Mexican force under Antonio Santa Anna at the Battle of Buena Vista in February 1847.
It says Polk then ordered General Winfield Scott to transport his army by sea to Veracruz, capture the city, and march inland to Mexico City. It says Scott explained the plan, encountering resistance at Cerro Gordo at Contreras, and entered Mexico City in September Under the Treaty of Guadalupe Hidalgo, Mexico ceded nearly all present-day New Mexico, Utah, Nevada, Arizona, California, Texas, and Colorado to the U.S. for $15 million, and the U.S. assumption of its citizens' claim against Mexico.
All right. The war resulted in about 13,000 American deaths, with the majority caused by disease. The conflict made a national hero of Taylor and reignited the issue of slavery extension, which was thought to have been resolved by the Missouri Compromise. All right. So here again, I know in one of the videos, it also was mentioned, I believe, that gold was found too. So they, once again, they accelerated that to take resources. All right. But does anyone have that scripture for the landmarks? Because that's what it gets into. That's what Esau is known for doing. You know, removing our landmarks.
Yep. This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 19 and verse 14. It says, "Thou shalt not remove thy neighbor's landmark, which they of old time have set in thine inheritance, which thou shalt inherit in the land that the Lord thy God giveth thee to possess it."
So that's, you know, you should not be removing landmarks. You know, we know that the 10 tribes, according to 2nd Ezra 13 verses 40 through 48, were already in this land. Okay, and you got Esau coming over to take it. You know, it was discovered that, you know, Christopher Columbus, that's how he found, you know, the 10 tribes. You know, he used the Apocrypha to do it, and came over here and just started conquering because of the, you know, the type of spirit that Jake had on him. You know, Jake was looking to help him out and show him how to do things. He was looking to kill and murder. Okay, which is exactly what this group of the U.S. government. You know, once again, it's the U.S. government. That's why, you know, when you know this history, Jake should not be dependent on the people to pay them, which they intended to conquer them anyway. All right, it's just stupid to keep looking for reparations when they intended to do what they were going to do, and hell bent on not paying it back. You know, we saw that with the president after the assassination of Lincoln. You know, he vetoed that 40 acres and a mule. All right, and then moving forward after that, they just came in and took land. You know, because of either manifest destiny or the law that they have on the books right now, eminent domain. You know, just come take your property because they want it. All right, and that's going on, I think, right now. Somewhere in Illinois or Joliet, they want to extend the highway. Yeah, they did a lot of places like that in our daytime, in our lifetime. I'm sorry, in our lifetime. You know, they did that with New York, Central Park. You know, we know about the Lake Lanier and all of that stuff. You know, they just come take stuff. All right.
Quick definition for you.
Go ahead.
You made this mention, manifest destiny, and it's just a quick idea of what it is. It says manifest destiny was the idea that white Americans were divinely ordained to settle the entire continent of North America.
And to a degree, that is accurate according to Job 9:24. Somebody want to grab that?
And, you know, even dealing with that Deuteronomy 19, you know, first and foremost, that was dealing, you know, with amongst us Israelites. But you see, Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, the scriptures call him the man of sin.
Yep.
Why? Because ultimately he promotes, all right, and exalts everything that's contrary to the law, statutes, and commandments of Yahweh Bashmi Ashai. So this devil, Esau, Edom, so-called white man, still is indeed guilty of breaking all the laws, statutes, and commandments of Yahweh Bashmi Ashai.
And as bad as it is, you know, he is our brother. You know.
Got that Job 9:24 for you.
Okay.
It says, the earth is given into the hands of the wicked. He covereth the face of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he?
He says that the earth is given into the hands of the wicked. Who is the wicked? Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, according to Malachi 1 and 4. You know, he covered the faces of the judges thereof. You know, who is the head judge? Yahushua. All right, according to John 5:22, it says, the Father judgeth no man; he commendeth all judgment unto his Son. Okay, and then it says he covered those faces. How did he do that? Through the Renaissance period or the rebirth with iconoclasm. You know, he went and whitewashed all that paintwork, which you know, at the this is right around the weekend of Passover, Putin opened his vaults, you know, to show that, you know, no, we have those, we have the true paintings that they cover them, and that, you know, that information is not new. It's always been available. For you got companies like Amazon, who's run by Bezos, who is a Amalekite, despite him trying to hide it. He had that book on sale for like $1,600 before Putin opened that vault, and then after he did it, it went up to $1,800. All right, just to show you, you know, they know Jake, the average Jake, you know, is not going to pay that kind of money for a book. For one, and number two, you know, you can't afford to spend that type of money on a book. But it's always been out there. That stuff is not new. That book was published in 1988. You know, it's just very few people could get their hands on it. All right.
I got a quick preset. You got some more to that?
No, that was it.
Yeah,
Okay.
like you said, he covered the faces of the judges there. So now we know who covered the faces. Not only do we know who you are, we know where you are. All right.
Yeah, and to add to your point, because the scripture in First Maccabees, the 3rd chapter, says the heathen opened the book of the law and likened the images according to their likeness, roughly paraphrasing. So ultimately, what's been the most exalted idol in America and really throughout the whole world, man? The white Jesus Christ, man.
Yep.
So that's how we pinpoint who the wicked is, man. But I got this in Psalm chapter 37, verse 35. It says, I have seen the wicked in great power and spreading himself like a green bay tree, which that's the precept to back up what we just read in Job 9 and 24. You see, the wicked, also known as Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, pursuant to the book of Malachi 1 and 4, ultimately they are the wicked that's in great power, right? Because once again, the earth has been given to the hands of the wicked, right? Like it says, it's spreading himself like a green bay tree, meaning what? He's spreading his philosophies, all right? He's going to these other nations, all right, trying to take their resources, man, right? Spreading his wickedness across the whole corners of the earth. Why? Because ultimately the wicked is in rulership. So with the wicked in rulership, he's going to forward his wicked policies, all right, and his wicked ideals, all right, and force them on the people, man. That's it.
I got a precept. This book of John chapter 10 verse 10 says, the thief cometh not but for to steal and to kill and to destroy. I am come that they might have life and that they might have it more abundantly. And you gonna see, you know, throughout this series, you know, for that violence against our brother Jacob, this scripture is probably gonna be referenced a lot, man. Because hey, as you can see, that's all Esau is known for. All right, you know, this Mexican-American war, it really stemmed from America thinking that they can take more than what's theirs, man. You know, over a border, all right, and it led to a lot of death, man. All right, because that's all Esau wants to do, man, is to, like the brother was going into, spread their philosophies out throughout the whole earth, man, to destroy and kill the nation of Israel, man.
I have something for you.
Yeah, I got some. Go ahead. I got some too.
It's the book of Micah, chapter 2, verse 1. Woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their bed. When the morning is light, they practice it because it's in the power of their hand. Yep. So just because the thing is, the works of Esau, Edom, so-called white man, is all evil. And so they pretty much practice, in this particular case, their whole agenda was to set up a way to take the land from the natives. And initially it was like, okay, let's do an agreement, you know, for a certain sum of money. And because they didn't agree, then it was like, okay, we're going to go use violence. So it's always a thing, it's like, we're going to get it by any means necessary. All right. And so it's a trickery, a way to kind of like, oh, well, let's set up an agreement. But then if they don't go by this, then we're going to bring this. So that's a pattern. If they don't agree, then we're going to come and we're going to take it by violence, which is what they really tend to have, because they are the sword. That's their blessing. And Yahweh Bashem Yahushai is giving them that blessing. Verse 2, he says, and they covet fields and they take them by violence. It says, and houses, and take them away. So they oppress a man and his house, even a man and his heritage. So the main point is they had covet. So I could pull that word out just to go into it.
You said covenant?
Covet.
Oh, covet. Select.
Yep.
I got the word covet in the Common Dictionary. It says to desire, what belongs to another inordinately or culpably. And I'll look up some of those
Yeah,
words.
that inordinate desire. Let's pull that one up if you can.
Yep, it says to an unusually or disproportionately large degree, excessively.
So that's when when they say that they worketh evil upon their beds. Like their whole thing is it's like we want this, and they're trying to figure out a way to take, and how can we get this? And it's over. It's an inordinate. It's a beyond measure of how much of that land or these people that you want to conquer and take over.
Which, you know, that definition right there also makes you think of the scripture in Habakkuk 2, where it says he enlargeth his desire is hell. You see, and we understand that hell is the grave, and there's no amount to how many bodies are at the grave can hold. So just liking it to Esau's desire, Esau's desire, to pretty much, for world domination goes deep, man. Like the brother was going into it, he gonna try to achieve it by any means necessary.
And I know we brought out Obadiah. I'm gonna get your preset real quick, but in Obadiah, it also talks about. He says, if a man stole, would he have leave some grapes?
God, just thinking that.
Yeah, would he have
Just
not
thinking
left? So when someone goes and they may steal or take something, they'll take what they need usually. But no, Esau is like, I want it all.
Yep.
You
Yeah, that goes into the law of gleaning.
Okay.
All right, and then that's the thing, when you glean, you're supposed to take up what you need, but also leave some for the poor. No, that's not Esau's MO. He's going to take he don't want anybody to have anything. And I kind of learned this that whole concept by working in the fast food industry. I didn't realize that everything that they don't consume, they throw away.
They do. Yep.
They throw it away. They won't give it to the people that really need it. But
Yeah.
yet have these things of where they trying to help the community. Nah, man.
I used to work at a burger restaurant, and we would make, especially on the days that they would have them for 25 cents or so, it'd be cheap. You would make so many, but then when it was like a certain time that they could only sit, it was like throw them out. They had them on timers. You had to throw them all out.
Yep.
They even do that in not just warehouses. Restaurants, but they do it in warehouses as well, man. With foods that's not even prepared yet, pretty much, and they'll throw it away before they give it out to the poor, man.
Yep.
That's how you know Esau wicked, man.
Yep. All right. Going into that, this is the book of Psalms, chapter 94, verses 20 and 21. Verse 20, and it reads, shall the throne of iniquity have fellowship with thee, which frameth mischief by law? And that throne of iniquity is Esau Edom. And the throne represents rulership. All right. And they have rulership of the world right now, according to precept we brought up before, Job 9 and 24. It says, shall it have fellowship with thee? And no, they are the wicked. We are the righteous. The two can't, they're always going to be against each other, constantly. All right. And they frameth, which frameth mischief by law. And what is mischief? Wickedness. All right. They frameth mischief by law, unrighteous decrees.
I was just going to grab.
We always talk about. I think it's in Sirach 41, 7 through 9 about taking advice from a counselor. Okay. Anytime they make a law, you best believe it's always for their interest. Okay. Those things are designed. We see that today, even with these celebrities. Anything they draw up, any contract you sign, mortgages, anything, all right, is for their benefit, and not the one and not Jake, all right. Verse 21, they gather themselves together against the soul of the righteous and condemn the innocent blood. And that's just what the brother was talking about. They make these covenants. They broke over 400 covenants with the 10 tribes, Gad in particular. Okay, 400 covenants. All right, which could easily take us to Psalms 55, 20, and 21. But that's the thing. They extend that hand of peace and wars in their heart. That's just the way that this bastard is. And that's exactly what he is, a bastard. He has no father. He has no God, other than, spiritual sanctity. That's who runs him. But You know, Satan gonna finish his job and leave them out to dry. Coming here real soon. We see that happen.
Shit, man. Satan, man. Satan, in the grand scheme of things, man, Satan, he gonna have a front row seat to your destruction.
Yeah, because he's obedient. You know, we know according to the first chapter of Job, he works for Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. You know, as the scriptures say in Isaiah 45:7, you know, he creates the light, he creates the darkness. I create peace, I create evil. I, the Lord, do these things. Okay, roughly paraphrasing. So yeah, you in a trick bag, Esau, and you're gonna pay for this.
Like even when you go into the book of Job, when it said the sons of God were present, it says Satan was among them.
Yep.
Right. So ultimately, hey, we know that at the end of the day, right, Satan, he does the bidding of Yahweh Bashmi Yashai on the left hand side, because you got to remember when it was talking about this devil, or Esau, Edom, so-called white men, in the book of Second Thessalonians, the 2nd chapter, what did it say? It said his working is after the coming of Satan. So that lets us know that ultimately the physical manifestation of Satan upon the earth is indeed this devil, Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. You see?
That's what else?
Yeah, oh, you got it. Okay, I'll go to Ezekiel 35. I'm gonna go straight to the point in verses 5 and 6. It says, because thou hast had a perpetual hatred, and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword in the time of their calamity, and the time that their iniquity had an end. Verse 6, it says, therefore, as I live, saith the Lord power, I will prepare thee unto blood, and blood shall pursue thee. Since thou hast not hated blood, even blood shall pursue thee. All right, and you can see throughout history that Esau has that perpetual, everlasting hatred for the nation of Israel, man. All right, and we know slavery. That's the one that's always talked about. But as you can see throughout these videos, man, that's not just Jake. I mean, it's not just the nation of Judah, man. He's had it for the whole nation of Israel. All right, and I pulled up this this article real quick. It's a real quick point. It said for the Mexican-American War, it said the war's human cost is difficult to quantify. It said historians estimate that at least 25,000 Mexican soldiers died, as well as 15,000 American soldiers. So 25,000 people, man. And they say they couldn't even really quantify it, but that's not a small amount of people, man.
Nope.
All right, Esau has had he used his sword perfectly, I guess, man. You know, he all he wants to do is to destroy the nation of Israel, man. All right, and with these videos are bringing it to a point that it isn't just the nation of Judah that's constantly brought up throughout history, man. All right, it's the whole nation of Israel as a whole, man. All right, and Esau is gonna have to be paid back for that, man.
Got a couple precepts.
And that, just to back him up real quick, when he says it's all of us, you know, when you go to Jeremiah 50 and 33, it tells you that Judah, the southern kingdom of Israel, Judah, Levi, and Benjamin, and Israel, the 10 tribes, were oppressed together, okay, in the land of Babylon. So, yeah, it's all of us, okay? And we know that that's a prophecy because the northern kingdom, or the 10 tribes, was not in the Babylonian captivity, all right? The last time we were all together was in the Egyptian captivity, all right?
This is the book of Numbers, chapter 35, verse 33. It says, so ye shall not pollute the land wherein ye are, for blood it defileth the land. And the land cannot be cleansed of the blood that is shed therein, but by the blood of him that shed it. And also we understand that Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, is indeed responsible for shedding the blood of so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans here on this land, America. Right? So also the only way that can be recompensed, that amount of bloodshed can be recompensed, is through his bloodshed, through the bloodshed of Esau, Edom, so-called white man, which also that's going to come in the form of his destruction, or when the Lord Yahweh Bashmi Yashai sends those nukes over here, all right, and that grand destruction, man. And then I had this other precept, if I may, real quick.
Go ahead.
This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 49, and verse 12, beginning of verse 12. It says, for thus saith the Lord, behold, they whose judgment was not to drink of the cup have surely drunken, man. And who is that talking about? That's talking about us. See, because ultimately, if we had, you know, taken heed and followed the commandments, the law, statutes, commandments of Yahweh Bashmi Yashai from the very beginning, you see, we wouldn't have had to take on a couple of the curses, man, a couple of affliction, a couple of slavery. But due to our wickedness, as it tells you in the Deuteronomy 28 chapter, because we hearken not unto the voice of the Lord our power. Hey, guess what, man? Here we are today, man. In captivity.
I got it right here.
In captivity under the basest man of the earth. You got it.
It's the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 15. It says, but it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy power, to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
Can you jump to verse 68?
Yes, sir.
Yep.
68, it says, and the Lord, Yahweh, Hashem Yahushai, shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships.
Which ultimately we in spirits to Egypt pursuant to Revelation, the 11th chapter. And after the Lord say he will bring us into Egypt by way of ships going to what? A transatlantic slave trade, man.
You got it. By the way whereof I spake unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again.
Which that is going to what? The Holy Land, man.
Yep.
All right, the land of Israel, which are pursuant to prophecy according to Ezekiel the 36th chapter, is currently being inhabited by Idumea, which Idumea is a Greek way of saying Edom, and a residue of the heathen, man.
God.
So you got a lot of foreigners, man, and imposters that's currently inhabiting the Holy Land, man.
Go ahead. And there ye shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen, and no man shall buy you.
If bondmen and bondwomen mean what? We would be slaves, man.
Yep.
All right, here in the land of spiritual Egypt, man, America. All right, like I said, no man shall buy you. What that word buy going back to redeem, meaning no man upon the earth is going to save us. So that tells us that what ultimately it's up to Yahweh, all right, to save us, man. All right, from the curses, man. All right, from captivity.
Yep.
You know.
God.
And add to your point, the natives, we call the natives, Gad, those troops too. Not only were they moved from their land masses, but their sons and daughters were taken from them.
Yep.
They also were sold into slavery as well. So bringing out Deuteronomy 28, although like all the curses, may not have, all of them may not have befalled, like brother saying, the northern or the southern kingdom, but the northern kingdom also fell into some of these curses as well, and some of these things that actually happened to them.
God. I was just going to add that in that Deuteronomy 28:68, the word buy is the Hebrew word chana, which means to redeem. All right, he said, no man shall buy you, which that ties into Isaiah 47, where Yahweh says, I will not need thee as a man. That means he's coming back in his all glory and his power to come back and redeem us, because it actually calls us that in Isaiah 47:3 and 4. The Redeemer and the Holy One of Israel. That's what he's coming to do. So, again, like we spoke earlier, Jake, you cannot keep dependent on this government to redeem you from the atrocities that they caused. That was their job. As the brother mentioned earlier, that, Esau is the wicked of the Lord. According to Psalms 17 and 13. He is the wicked of the Lord. He's doing his job. Okay.
And to your point, there's this another thing, like you have when we talked about the violence against our brother Jacob, especially when we talked about the like Oklahoma, Tulsa, the different cities that was plaguing Jake, right?
Mm-hmm.
The police wouldn't intervene,
Nope.
and then they would call the National Guards. But a lot of times when the National Guards came, they actually were coming to really further subdue Jake. Yep. So then now we're reading on the Mexican War, and so, which is dealing, again, the Northern Kingdom. They actually had the troop. If somebody could get that in Genesis, I was
49 and 19.
Yeah, because I was actually pulling it.
Okay.
But
Genesis.
going to your point, so now you see that it's the same people, the government's involved, everyone is involved. Matter of fact, when you read more into the Mexican War, you find that this made prominent men, presidents and elite men came out of this conquest.
Yep.
Okay.
Now, and before I read that in that article, it said they went to occupy them. We know what that means.
Yeah.
Occupy the land. No, you over there doing some what we call fuck shit over there to the Mexicans. That's what you were doing. It wasn't nothing nice. That I can see. That's the way Esau is. He always liked to smooth over his dirt. All right, but he can't do it. We know what you were doing. All right, this is the precept you call for, the book of Genesis chapter 49 verse 19, and it reads, Gad, a troop shall overcome him, but he shall overcome at the last.
So Gad is dealing with the Native American Indians. So if you look up any history of the natives that was here in the Americas, you'll find that they were overtaken by a troop, by a people, and it was Edom, the so-called white man,
Yep.
who came and overtaken the land.
God.
And you can go as far as you had from the French, you had the I was trying to think. Well, I just leave it at that. You got the British,
Yep.
the French, that all came in. They all came in to occupy some part of the Americas. In the end, taking over what we have now, America.
God. And just to your point, about a couple years with us being into the truth, remember it was discovered that school in Canada
Mhm.
with all those natives that were found, those bones were found. That school was started by a veteran of the army.
Yep.
That's just backing up this the scripture here. All right.
I got some more of that Jeremiah 49.
Go ahead, bro.
Jeremiah 49 and 12 back from the top. It says, "For thus saith the Lord Yahweh, behold, they whose judgment was not to drink of the cup have surely drunken. And art thou he that shall altogether go unpunished? Thou shalt not go unpunished, but thou shalt surely drink of it." Now the Lord is talking to you, Esau, Edom, so-called white man, because hey, you got to imagine, man, you touch the apple of the Lord's eye, pursuant to Zechariah, the 2nd chapter. Right, also you understand, when you're the apple of someone's eye, you are a prized possession in their eyes. So ultimately, us as a nation of Israel, we are a prized possession in the eyes of Yahweh Bashmi Ashai. And see, us being a holy people unto the Lord, our power, hey, we went off, man, right? And he put us through the curses. So how much more a nation that's far from Yahweh Bashmi Ashai, that doesn't regard Yahweh Bashmi Ashai, or how much more a nation that the Lord hates, man? You doing all this wickedness, this fuck shit around the earth, and you think you're not gonna be punished for it, man? You will be punished for it, man. Like the scripture saying in Deuteronomy 30th chapter, all these curses I shall fall upon thy enemies, man.
Yep.
Man, Esau, man, the so-called white man, you gonna feel the worst out of any other nation, man, because you did the worst unto us.
Yep.
And verse 13, it says, "For I have sworn by myself, saith the Lord Yahweh, that Basra shall become a desolation, a reproach, a waste, and a curse, and all the cities thereof shall be perpetual waste," which ultimately this Basra is dealing with modern day America. Because dealing with ancient Edom, Basra was a capital city in the land of ancient Edom. And what is Esau, Edom, the so-called white man? What's his main or capital city today? The land of America, man. Mystery Babylon. All right, so ultimately, knowing this, we understand that ultimately Esau's judgment for what he's done against the nation of Israel is ultimately America's gonna be completely destroyed, man. All right, and guess what, man? He's gonna be put in chains. And after he serves his 1,000 years of servitude, guess what's gonna happen, man? All right, he's gonna be completely wiped out forever.
Yep.
Oh, the other one that I was thinking of is Spain, the Spanish. Because again, when a lot of, as you can see, the Mexicans, the so-called Mexicans, these tribes, they speak Spanish, so a lot of them have been conquered, and again, was made to do away with their language, and speak the language of their captors, as far as the schools and all of that you had brought up early on.
Listen to that.
Yeah. Anything else? Yes or no? No. All right. So once again, we're gonna conclude that here. Yet again another installment for thy violence against thy brother Jacob, and we hope this lesson was edifying for the elect body of the nation of Israel. Once again, we're going to give all praises, glory, and honor to
Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rakakwadash.
double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well in teaching us this 100% truth. Salutations to them and our fellow Archons who labor in this truth week in and week out on the highways and byways. Also salutations to the hopeful elect of the scattered 12 tribes of Israel, scattered to the four corners of the earth. To you, we say Shalom.
Shalom.
Kwam Yasharallah.
Kwam Yasharallah.
We got next.